Gross domestic product, or GDP, is one of the primary indicators used to gauge the health of a country's economy. It represents the total dollar value of all goods and services produced over a specific time period, often reported on a quarterly or annual basis. GDP is like a comprehensive snapshot of a country's economic performance and can also serve as a comparative tool across different countries. The GDP can be calculated using three approaches. 1. Production approach. This is the simplest and most direct method, in which the output of every enterprise in the economy is summed up to calculate total production. 2. Income approach. This method adds up total compensation to employees, gross profits for firms, and taxes less any subsidies on production and imports. 3. Expenditure approach. Perhaps the most well-known method, it calculates GDP by adding up consumption, investment, government spending, and net exports minus imports. Each of these methods should, in theory, result in the same GDP number, since they are just different ways of looking at the same economic activities. Types of GDP. Nominal GDP represents the total economic output without taking inflation into account. It can give a skewed view of growth when inflation is high. Real GDP adjusts the level of nominal GDP for inflation to reflect changes in real output. It gives a more accurate depiction of an economy's size and how it's growing over time. GDP per capita. This measure divides GDP by the number of people in the country. It's a useful way to compare economic productivity and living standards between countries, regardless of population size. Understanding GDP is crucial for economists and policymakers, as it helps assess if the economy is contracting or expanding, the effectiveness of economic policies, and how fast it is growing relative to other economies. Additionally, investors can use GDP figures to make informed decisions about investing in specific countries or markets. However, GDP has its limitations. It doesn't account for the distribution of income among residents of a country, nor does it consider whether the nation's rate of growth is sustainable in the long term. It also ignores unpaid work, the informal economy, and the value of leisure. Moreover, GDP does not factor in environmental degradation or depletion of natural resources. Despite these limitations, GDP remains a critical tool for economic analysis and planning. By understanding its components, uses, and limitations, one can better comprehend the complexities of economic growth and development.